All right, now we can start the event. So today, let's review the recent questions that came in L4M1 November exam. And I think we have a few kind of like new type questions. So I would like to help you with those guys. Still, in the exam, we have the easier question like about electronic systems or about the policies and processes. So you can see that they always balance between, I think, harder question and easier question. Anyway, then if we prepare well enough, then no question could be a challenge. That's the point. So according to my information that I collected from the student, we have 4 questions about, within L4M1 exam. The first question was about 5 types of purchase, including capital purchase, procurement of services, indirect purchase, purchase of stock item, and the purchase of construction work. Okay, they are very clear, and for each type purchase here, you need to write about 5 distinctive features. It means that you need to tell the assessor about 5 unique features of these purchases. Okay, so what would be the highlight of the purchase and how they can impact on the job of procurement? The second question is about the electronic system. It is pretty simple question about the advantages and disadvantages of those systems. Like you need to you need to list about 2, 3, 4, or 5 advantages and disadvantages. Number 3 is about the benefits of documented procurement processes and policies. And question number 4 is about public sector with the analysis of impact of public sector objectives on procurement activities. All right, so we shall look at these questions in detail. With question number 1, it was about the different types of purchase. And for each type of purchase I'm listing here, you need to describe the 5 distinctive features. We have capital purchase, indirect purchase, purchase services, purchase of stock item, and the purchase of construction work. So we have 5 type purchase, and for each type you need to list 5 distinctive features. So in total we have 25 points, and that is equal to the total score that we can get from question number 1. So really very straightforward for the assessor. As long as you can provide exact or correct points, then they may reward you with a score. First, let's look at the capital purchase. With each type purchase here, you need to look at the features that may have impact on the job procurement and how procurement should adapt to those features. So when we talk about capital purchase, then we need to contrast them with the operational purchase. And within capital purchase, we also have a specific type, that is construction purchase, the purchase for construction work. But in this question, then they ask us to distinguish between 2 of them. Therefore, you may need to focus on the features that capital purchase first, and then construction work later. With CAPEX, then there are a few features that you might highlight, like about the purpose of this purchase is to make money or to generate income. Therefore, we need to analyze the return on investment when we decide any purchase of CAPEX. Second, capex is a big purchase. It is an important purchase. So we need to consider about the financing or borrowing when we consider about this type of purchase. And then we still have other features like it lasts for a life. It not really a life, but I mean it lasts for a pretty long time. So we need to analyze the whole life cost or total cost of ownership. And the stakeholders that need to be involved in this kind of purchase tend to be much larger than regular purchase or operational one. So we need to collaborate with a wider range of stakeholders, and the specification could be very complicated. Furthermore, the negotiation for this kind of purchase could be quite long, and there are a lot of variables that you need to argue with the supplier. And the purchase process here, I think we need to apply pretty much the principles of project management. So when we consider all of these features, then they are the business features of capital purchase. And to avoid the confusion with construction purchase, I think here I just list the most general features of capex here. Although capex may also include the purchase of construction work. Second, with indirect, then normally it is contrasted with the direct cost. So with this kind of question, you can list the 5 features as of what I am suggesting here. Like you may write about the definition of these type purchase. This type purchase, it does not directly involve or impact the end product, but they are purchased to maintain the normal operation or day-to-day operation of of the buying organization. Second, then indirect purchase may include a very wide varieties, and that both include some very big and irregular purchase like capital purchase, and the regular but low value and low risk purchase include the tail span or the low value, low risk purchase. And with indirect purchase, then we don't normally we don't purchase them regularly, but with the less frequently than the direct purchase. With direct, then they include the direct materials, direct components, and other um, products or services that contribute directly to the end product. So we need to purchase them with a regular basis, and as long as we are still producing things or still providing the service. But with indirect, then they are less frequent, and they have less impact on the on the quality of the end product. So indirect purchase may also have a smaller proportion. They may occur a smaller proportion within the purchasing portfolio of the organization. So with indirect purchase, then we may manage them by using some approach like category management, or use the framework agreement to manage the infrequent purchase, or automate the process here to reduce our time spent on less important purchase. However, then there are some categories like capital purchase still count as indirect, and they are still very important. So we still need to manage them closely by using the project approach. Okay, just like what we have seen with the capex. The third type of purchase here is the purchase of services. With the purchase of service, I still prefer the distribution from the previous syllabus from 2013. They list 5 characteristics of services in contrast with product. Service is heterogeneity. It means that every service is different. Every service provider they give us or provide us with different type of service. Second, service could not be owned, but we can just enjoy the service. They could not be owned. Third, service is perishable. They are consumed at the time they are produced. So we need to plan very accurate time of getting the service. And service is intangible. It could not be measured in physical sense, like in the size or in the taste. And service is inseparable. It cannot be separated from the provider, and it is attached with the provider, with the features of the provider. So with this key, with these characteristics, they may have some impact on procurement job because of the heterogeneity. Every provider is different, so we need to choose the most competent one. Okay, and select the one that deliver the service most effectively. Second, with the ownership, we don't have the ownership over the purchase, over the service, so they need to be delivered at the right time. And for some service, like for IT or training and other types of service like consulting, there could be some concern about the intellectual property. And although generally we don't own service, but we still have the copyright or patent after receiving some service. So we still need to have some way to manage that, and they need to be clarified within the contract terms and conditions. With perishable, then we still need to schedule them correctly. Okay, get the service at the right time. And with intangibility, it means that the service could not be measured in physical terms. So to measure the delivery, we still need to have the service level agreement or the KPI. We still need to measure the performance of the suppliers. So measuring the performance by a contractual way using the SOA, using the outcome could be a good way, because we know how well they are delivering these services, and what could be done to improve the service quality. The service is the service could not be separated from the provider. So we need to select the best provider, just like the first point. And it could not be put into storage. So still need to choose the right time, etc. Right. The third type purchase, the fourth type purchase that we need to analyze here is about the purchase of stock item. Of course, when we talk about distinctive feature, we need to contrast them with the between stock and non-stock purchase. So stock purchase is the purchase of the item that could be put into the warehouse, could be put into the storage. And they may include a few types, like the raw material, work in progress, or finished product. Or they could be analyzed based on ABC analysis and Pareto principles. With stock purchase, then we could have a few measures for them, like the service level, stock turn, the stock level, and the holding the stock could bear some cost like acquisition or holding and the cost of stock out. So with stock purchase, we need to manage them by using some technologies and methods. With the technologies, then we could track the stock by using the barcode or the IRD, just like in L4M7, or using some advanced inventory measurement method, like just-in-time, vendor managed inventory, or push and pull system, or predict review, okay, and so on. So with stock purchase, then we have a few objectives. We want to keep our customer happy or maintaining high service level while minimizing the cost. So we can list all of those features as in our writing about the stock purchase. So it is not just about the um, ability of holding or some characteristic, physical characteristic of stock purchase, but it is about more about how we could approach to this high purchase and how we could manage them. And finally, we have construction of work. For this one, then I could say that it is actually a type, a subcategory of capex. It is irregular and big project that require very huge sum of money. But since they want us to tell about the distinctive feature, so I will focus more on the features that unique to construction work. Unlike other type of jobs, then the construction work lasts for a while. It needs to be constructed. It needs to be built. So it requires time, and for most case, then they require considerable time. Like you want to build a big building, a huge tower or a warehouse, then it could last like 2-3 years. That is a very fast one, but we could be the project could last longer. Could yeah, it must be done in longer time, like 5 or sometimes even 10 years. And the specification in this project is extremely complex. If we build a large building, then we need to have like a few hundred pages of drawing. Furthermore, the list of material would be very long and the cost is very high. And for each project, they are different based on the requirement of the end user, based on the shape of the landlord, and based on the permission we have. So every project is different, and we need to engage and discuss with the stakeholder again and again. No project could be duplicated. So we need to be very specific in our approach to construction. The construction also entails a very complex regulatory environment. Every city has different law for land use or zoning and getting the permission for the building. So the uh, uh, the project for construction would require us to involve very huge number of stakeholders from early on. Like we need to engage with the legal and even with the local government, local authority to understand their requirement. We also need to engage with the local community to understand their concerns and how to reduce the nuisance that may impact on their life, like noise or um, pollution that the project may cause to the local community. Furthermore, construction work is quite risky. It has a lot of labor, and if they are not managed well, there are high risk of incident and high risk of injury or even death for the workers. So the safety concern here would be very great concern, very huge concern for the employer and the contractor alike. Furthermore, even if we finish the building, then the building still need to conform with the regulation like about fire safety. So the design should pay great attention to the safety for both the worker and for the user after the building has been finished. Therefore, with constructional purchase, we need to engage and design the select the design for the building very carefully, okay, and understand the requirement from different stakeholders. And finally, the contractual terms and conditions for this kind of project is extremely complex. They are quite lengthy, and if we need to build them from the scratch, from the ground, then it takes very long time and probably impossible to do so. So for constructional purchase, then we may need to consider about using the modern forms of contract, like the forms from FIDIC or NEC to save time and to use the professional language that they are using, and that could be understood from different suppliers from international business. So the construction, you can highlight some complexity of such kind of project, and I think that could be used, that could be written as the distinctive feature of the purchase of constructional work. As you can see, if you write the first question, then that could be pretty long. We have 5 types of purchase that need to be analyzed. And for each type, you need to write 5 distinctive features. So that could be a very tedious and huge work within just 45 minutes. Okay, so I hope that for anyone who has written this exam, then I hope that you knew how to do this, okay, and get the best result. The question number 2 is about the electronic system. Yeah, and I received the information from Ima Ejerima. Okay, question number 2 was a case study of fruit juice processing company. Right, we have a small scenario here. All right, and they also give us a very specific requirement, like 3 advantages and 2 disadvantages of the company using electronic system. So with this scenario, then we need to stick with the scenario. There are a few problems within the scenario. So they have low profitability, and they also have the concern about the cost of automation and the compatibility of the software and the compatibility with the current system. Right. So by using just with this question, then I think that first you need to write what are the potential electronic system that could be used in procurement. We could have used 5 system here like e-requisition, e-catalog, e-ordering, e-sourcing, and e-payment. Okay, so very clear. And second, then you can highlight the problems within scenario like low profitability due to manual tasks, due to low productivity, due to high operational cost, etc. And we can say that investing in electronic system could be a solution to those problems. but the company needs to be careful and understand the requirement as well as the compatibility with the current system so that the project could go smoothly. So with electronic system, then they could solve some problems like they could save the cost in the long run, especially when they improve the efficiency and the speed and the productivity of procurement department. They also provide better transparency and accountability where every data could be traced back and looked at from the database from the e-system. They also provide some scalability. It means that when the company grows, then the system here, the electronic system here could also grow with the like store more data and serve as the common database, and also have the company grow as they expand their operations, and they maintain the data for improvement as well as maintain and improve the relationship with the supplier. Okay, there are a lot of advantage here. But with the disadvantages, then the concern from the company in scenario is quite correct, right? They have implementation costs. Every system here needs to be designed and delivered to each company differently, and they need to be compatible with the current system. So implementation costs would be a concern, but which is what we need to have a clear vision of return on investment, whether that investment would be turned into higher productivity and greater cost saving. So we need to measure the specific return on investment here. And there are other concerns about electronic system, like about security. There could be cyber attack toward the system, and the data could be lost due to those attacks. And even without the attack, then the system could have some technical error and could have some downtime and disrupt the normal process of the organization of procurement. And there are some people, not every people are good at technology, so they could have some difficulty in getting along with the technology here, and they don't know how to use the technology. So we need to provide the training, and the implementation could also need to take the training into account, and so on. All right, so there are a lot of points there are a lot of ideas that you can write here, and I think a good answer need to include both the points, both the advantages, disadvantages, and also the reference to what the scenario, especially the concern from the company in that scenario. But for this question, I don't think that it would be different. Sorry, it would be difficult for you to generate the ideas about electronic system. They are quite straightforward, and we can just think a little bit, and we can generate a few ideas as long as you can refer and link toward the scenario. Then I think your answer would be rewarded with a high score. Question number 3 is about the advantages of documented policies and processes. I know that for this question, we also have a small scenario, but I don't have the details of scenario here. Anyway, then that is not quite. I don't think it would be quite important to include the scenario. The scenario only provide you with the context, and here you just need to apply the theory into scenario with the reference to the scenario. Okay, that is the requirement. So before I go into the details, yeah, okay, so thank you, Irma. I have the details on scenario here. This was about energy generation, energy generator, and this company recently recruited new employees, and they had concern about their complaints toward the policy. So they want the employee to have access to policy and procedures and explain 5 benefits of documenting these policies. Right. So if the first thing when we approach this question is that you need to explain the difference or the definitions of policies, processes, procedures, and here I also bring the strategy. So the strategy is at the top. It is the high level plan and how a company may achieve a certain long term goals or objective. Okay, like they may want to make the difference, or they may want to lead in certain industry, and they need to have a plan for that. Like they need to produce certain product, or they need to be present in certain market. That is the strategy. Second, with the policy, it means they are the set of principles and rules to guide the decision and guide the actions for every employees. So the employee need to comply with certain things, like they need to avoid the conflict interest, or they need to engage and interact with the supplier in ethical way. So all of them are the principles and that guide the actions for each employee. But the policy are toothless if we don't have the processes or the procedures to implement them. So the process or procedures, I think they could be used interchangeably. All of them are just specific instruction to undertake something, like how to select the best supplier using different criteria, okay, or how to draft a specification and with the input from different stakeholders. Okay, so they provide the detailed instruction about achieving something, about doing something, right? So having written policies and processes could be could provide some benefits, and I think they are quite clear. First, the employees may have better expectation. They have clearer expectation, and they know that the policy and processes are more consistent and provide a sense of like consistency for every stakeholders. Second, they could be used as the training and development documents, and especially in scenario here we have new employees, so they need to know about their roles, their responsibility, what they need to do. That could form part of the training and development program. They also serve as the instruction for conflict resolution and the requirement for documentation, evidence, and the basis for the compliance and risk management. Okay, they also improve the collaboration, since everyone has a role and they know what they need to do when it comes to a certain task. Okay, so there are a lot of benefits here, and you can rely some of the points based on what I'm showing in my presentation here. Okay, pretty straightforward. Finally, we have question number 4 about the public sector and about the objective of public sector and the impact on procurement. As I remember, right, for this question, we don't have any kind of scenario. We don't have any scenario. So it's quite straightforward. It's quite straightforward. Right. First, you need to know what are the objectives of the public sector, and second, what are the impact of these objectives on procurement. Normally, people tend to do pretty well on the question about private sector, but with both public and the third sector, then they tend to perform worse. So with this one, first thing, you need to understand what are the objectives of the public sector. And before that, then what is public sector exactly? So public sector is they include the organizations or agency that use the public fund or tax money to perform certain tasks for the society. And their objectives may include something like provide the service to the society, like healthcare, education, security, etc. They also provide support to community and maintain the order. And they also have some concern about the development of the economy and protect the social value or promote equality and inclusion. Okay, so some of these objectives you can find in the forum study guide, and from that you can see that they are listing a few objectives. Now you just need to connect these objectives with the impact on procurement. And by the word impact, then I think they mean that how these objectives may affect the job of procurement. It could be negative or positive, right? So, but I think mostly as procurement professional, we need to learn how to adapt with these kind of objectives and how to have the organization achieve these objectives. So for each of the objective here, I think we may have a few key about the procurement, a few impact on procurement. First of all, since public sector organization need to provide the service to the citizen, to the public. So they need to understand the requirements, they need to understand the problem that the end user is facing, and understand their concern and try to find a way to deliver that. Like we need to understand like how many children in that city need to go to school, and we need to build a public school for that many students, for that many children, right? So with this one, then we need to collect the data as procurement. We need to engage with the stakeholders. We need to collect the data on the requirements and prepare the specification accordingly. And also, because we are providing the service, therefore we need to be held accountable for the efficiency of those services, right? So public procurement also needs to have the accountability, and that could put some pressure on procurement professional, but it is part of the job and it is kind of like a requirement. Second, with the social value, because the public sector must not just consider about economic value, but other social value like protecting the traditional values or traditions of certain ethnic group or the tradition of the nation. So the purchase need to consider other factors than just the purchase price, right? Like we need to know how the purchase may impact, or how the project may impact on the local life, or on the um, on the tradition, or on the culture of the local community. Okay, so we need to consider other factors and award the contract to the supplier that could uh, deliver other factors that, rather than just giving the lowest price. On economic part, then every purchase from public sector may have impact on the local economy. Like we may have the local government or the city council could be building a new road, or they could try to implement a new public transport system, or they could be building a new hospital. And all of these investment could provide the benefits to the local economy. So we need to have the assessment of total cost ownership, of whole life cost, and the return on investment for those projects. But the return on investment here must not be like kept, like it could not be measured like the return that the local government could get from that project, but kind of like how they may improve the life of the local citizen, and also nurture the future tax revenue for the citizen. Like if we build a new road, right? So we could not like collect the money for the road. That's not possible. Or sometimes it is possible, but under different form of public-private partnership. But basically, we could not just measure the return on investment like in private sector. We may measure the return on investment like if we build a new road in this area, then they may increase the transport activities, and consequently improve the trade, and also the trading revenue for the local community, and in turn greater tax return for the greater tax return for the local government. So with the economic return, then we need to consider about the TCO, and the return on investment, and other factors. And with the objective about inclusion, it means that we must not discriminate against any group of people, or against any supplier. So the public sector needs to create the equal opportunity for every supplier, and maximize the use of tendering process. Especially, we need to be open and transparent about the opportunity here. Every opportunity needs to be published on a portal, and every supplier should have the access to that portal, and they need to have equal opportunity to bid for that contract. Furthermore, the public sector also need to include the development for the future. So they need to allow the participation from local supplier, or require the main contractor to to subcontract to local supplier, and so on, so that we can generate and include and help the local economy to develop. Okay. So that is the part on public procurement. Since the public sector has the quite wide, or quite, I think, quite difficult objectives, and they need to deliver a lot of things. So procurement need to learn how to adapt with those requirements, okay, and deliver those objectives. All right. So with this one, then I hope that anyone during that exam had clear idea on what need to be written in the exam, and how to deliver them. so that I hope that they all get the best result from the exam. Okay, and remember that we regularly organize this kind of event to help you master Cips exam. So if you have any other concern, then just WhatsApp us on this phone. Just send us a WhatsApp message on the phone on the screen here, or send us an email. Okay, we welcome to your inquiry and idea. And I hope that in 2025, hope you will get the best result from Cips exam, and also get also land into your dream job. Thank you very much to stay along with Evocument for the whole 2024, and wish you a happy new year 2025. Thank you very much.